Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was just grabbing a beer out of the fridge. Priorities, priorities. Bear with me one moment, guys. I'm just going to get the stream up on this laptop here so that hopefully I can check everything is working fine. Okay, bear with me. There we go. Make sure that's all off. Cool. I'll just get into it in a second. So it looks to all be working okay. A few of you here. Let me know if you're here, if you can hear me okay. That would be really helpful. And that you can see me and all of that good stuff. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys are there. So, how is everyone? This is something I was planning on doing every 2 weeks or so. It's been 3 weeks since the first one I did. And actually the reason I couldn't do one last week is because it was my brother's birthday. And we were doing like a fun Zoom call back then, so that's why it's taken 3 weeks to do another one. I really didn't want to do this today. Actually, I've just been feeling a little bit like can't be bothered, but I thought I would just make the effort and do it for you today. So it's nice to see there's a few of you here. PJ says all good. Scrack the MTB runner is here, and yeah, really guys, this is just a session to sort of chat. The last one I was really happy with actually. There was a fair few of you here, lots of questions throughout, and it just made it actually really fun to chat with all of you because some of your questions are great, and it's just awesome that I can sort of speak with you in this instantaneous type of way. So, so yeah, so let's give it another go today. Thomas King is here, Hampshire Photo is here. How are you, Luke? I hope you're doing well. Interesting news that Boris has just announced. Actually, I was going to chat to you about your take on that in terms of YouTube videos. I sort of think it might mean potentially you could go out filming again, but I'm not too sure. So we'll see about that. Fit Rodzen's, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hi, Black Z40.5 here. Very nice, very nice. Where are you from? Where are you watching from? Yeah, very well. I hope you are too. I was going to mention to you about that. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I don't know whether this means. Yeah, we'll talk about it off air, so to speak. It's weird. It was a very unclear message actually, so I'm still not quite sure what this means. Anyway, yeah, guys, in the chat, fire away your questions. I was going to mention super chats today because last time actually there was like 70 or 80 people watching the whole time. Tons of questions coming in, and when I watched the live chat back after the live stream, I saw that I missed so many questions. So if you did want to ask a question that I'm guaranteed to answer, you can do a super chat. It also supports the channel in a monetary way, which is amazing. But of course, there's not so many people here this evening, so there really is no need to do that at all. It was just sort of a very busy live stream last time, which was amazing. But yeah, 30 of you here, so it's really nice to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you stick around for a bit. I'll be totally transparent. I don't really have any topics to talk about. I was going to mention a lot of you in my video that I just uploaded, which was a point of view, were asking why the quality was a little bit poor. That's because this is my best GoPro. And fairly recently when filming it suffered slightly because it went under the tyre of my car. So this is no longer, which sadly means I'm left with this old Hero 3, which I almost threw away actually, so I'm glad I kept it. And yeah, that's why the quality wasn't so good, because that's all I had to play with. I'm just going to open this beer actually, because I was in such a rush I didn't manage to do that before I went live. Cheers everyone. So yeah, I hope you're all doing really well. I'm just about getting through. From Poland, very cool. I really want to visit Poland, actually. It's somewhere I've not been. I've been fortunate. I've travelled to a lot of Europe. I think I've been to about 50% of the countries in Europe, which is amazing. But Poland is somewhere I've never been. I do really want to visit. There's a lot of history there, which I'd like to see. But I've seen, actually, like especially in Warsaw, the car culture is like pretty cool. So I'd love to go out there. When are you doing your third car selection night? I'm not exactly sure what you meant. Is that something I talked about before, potentially? I can't think off the top of my head what you're referring to there. But if you can elaborate a little bit, I'll answer for you. Jez Boy says, evening. Good to hear your opinion if we have the green light to go for a drive. If we don't, yeah, it's very confusing, to be honest, buddy. I'm not really too sure what they mean. The slide. I see what you're. I think you're asking about my sort of third. Yes, I see what you're saying. My rating subscribers cars video. That I'm planning on publishing on Wednesday. I think I haven't filmed it yet, so I need to sort that out actually. So hopefully I'll be filming that in the next few days, and that should go live on Wednesday, episode 3, which is the penultimate one, because there will actually be a finale involving my dad where we sort of choose the favourites. So yeah, you're welcome. Dino Teshu Z, I'll also post some videos on my search. Yeah, good pop setup is definitely a GoPro. The better one is the Session, which is like a much smaller GoPro, because I actually literally just put the GoPro on my head. And then the other thing that I do is I sync the audio up with the GoPro on the back, mounted by the exhaust, and then you can mix those two together and get a really good sound of the exhaust and that view out front as well. So that's a good setup. In terms of dyno testing, I would love to actually. I think there's a cost involved with it. I'm not that bothered about it. So if there is a company that potentially wants to collaborate in some way with a dyno, I think that would be a cool video. I'd like to do that. It would be interesting actually, because what my car is, I always forget, it's like 16 years old, and it's done over 150,000 miles now. So actually, yeah, it would be super interesting to see how much power it's lost. Chris Lee has said, "What are you missing most in lockdown?" Really good question. I'll ask you guys back actually. What are you all missing most in lockdown? But I'll be honest, Chris. I mean, predominantly it's just the ability to go out the house when I want to. I drive all the time, so the fact I can't just go out for a drive is frustrating. If I had to pin it on one thing in particular, I'd say I go to the gym quite far away from home, and I usually drive to the gym quite late at night, and I always really enjoy the drives there and back. And that would be 4 to 5, well, sometimes 7 times a week I do that. So if I've got to pin it on one thing that isn't sort of seeing friends and family, it's those evening drives to the gym, and also going to the gym actually. That's something I've really not picked up at home, and I've been missing. So yeah, that's probably the thing I've missed the most if I had to pin it on one thing. Also haircuts. As you can see, I definitely need a haircut. But yeah, what have you guys been missing the most? I'd love to know. Have I ever driven any of the SMG E89 Z4s? Yes, I think so. I drove my friend's got an E89 30i, I think, and it's an auto. So it's not a DCT, it's the old SMG as far as I'm aware. Interested to see the difference with the old. Yeah, I've never driven the old E85 sequential though, to be fair. Oh, E85, no, I've never driven the E85 auto, actually. One thing that I do need to have a go in at some point. Because yeah, I've never driven it. I don't expect them to be too bad, but I think for me at least, the Z4 is like a fun car, so it's always going to be manual. Driving with Ben. Good evening, buddy. How are you? I think I noticed you started a new. Is this your new channel? So I'll need to check it out and go and subscribe to that. Be interested to see what sort of content you come up with. What engine oil are you using in the Z? I'm using currently Castrol 0W30. It comes in like a gold canister. I have used the 5W30 stuff before, which is like the one in the green case. How interesting this is. But yeah, it's the 0W30 I use at the moment. Are you planning anything new with your car? Is anything coming up that needs replaced? Yeah, there's loads of stuff that needs replaced actually. My door handle to get in the car, driver's side, is broken. So at the moment I'm literally using the key to roll down the windows before I get in the car just to get in, reach in and open it that way. My aerial base needs fixing. I've got no aerial on the car still. What else is there? I've got a couple of warning lights. I've got a light bulb that's out, and I've also got that airbag warning light, or the passenger occupancy seat light is still on. So there are things that need fixing. In terms of mods, I would like to get some new springs to just sort of improve the handling characteristics a little bit. But as I've mentioned before, I need to really get another car to daily around in before I start sort of making my Z4 even less usable, if that makes sense. Diego, hello. when are you doing another Rate My Subscribers car video? I just mentioned this, but I'm going to hopefully be publishing the next one on Wednesday. Haven't filmed it yet. And then there will be one final episode after that, which will be episode 4, and that'll be like the final where me and my dad sit down and choose the winners, or the winner. Don't really know how many winners there should be. Should there be like a Z4 winner and then another winner, or should there just be one winner? There's no prize, it's just a bit of fun, and it's just me and my dad's opinion at the end of the day. Who else we got here? Oh, Riz Raz is here. Riz Raz, how are you? Riz Raz is the chap that was in my Z3 versus Z4 soft top showdown. Really, really nice guy actually. We had an absolute laugh filming that video, even though it was a little bit sort of rough and ready, I suppose. I enjoyed that a lot. Anyway, what have you said? Soldier was Z3 pre-lockdown, looking to get an M54 3 litre. Once from someone else drive or something would be good. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, interesting. So your Z3's gone, and you may get an M54 3 litre. That would be, I think, a nice upgrade. I guess depending on what you're going for. But yeah, I think once this is all over, guys, we should definitely organise a cruise, a convoy. It'd be cool to meet up with as many as you, as many of you as possible in our cars, whatever you drive, and do that. Obviously, we'll try and find somewhere that works for the most possible people. But I think that would be fun. When I see Rizraz just going to stick with the Z3 but the same engine as yours, yeah, that's a car I really want to drive actually, because I guess the Z3 is a little bit lighter and a lot more hectic feeling. So a Z3 with that sort of power would be really fun. I think I mentioned to you at the time actually, my first sort of memory of going in a fast car was a 2.8 Z3, and at the time that felt ballistic to me. So I'd love to try out a 3 litre. What else are we saying here? What are your thoughts on the Z3 cars? I love Z3s. I don't think so. If it was my only car, I don't think I could quite have one, because it's just that little bit more uncomfortable and stiffer and less sort of quiet and usable than the Z4. But as a sort of classic, they're awesome. And obviously you've got the coupes and the M's, which are also even more exclusive. So yeah, Z3s is the whole thumbs up. Did you have the sticky steering problem? Yes. I think the first summer I had that car, it was a real problem. Didn't really do anything about it apart from get a quote for it, which was like £2,500 to fix. So I sort of left it, and it hasn't really come back to be a bother at this point. So I've had the issue, and I've sort of left it, and it hasn't really come back. Maybe it's just not been hot enough. Am I still thinking of an A-Class as the next car? Yeah, I would like an A45 AMG as a next car. Not a next car, as a second car. So it'd be a daily car. My Z4 would still stay in the garage, and therefore would then be able to become more of a weekend toy, and I could do lots of mods to it, etc, etc. Obviously with this lockdown going on, it's hard to say from a financial perspective, from a market perspective, from a logistical perspective, if and when those cars are going to come. Partly because, so the other car I'm trying to get at the moment is an E63 M6, the V10. I'm banging on about that for so long. And I had planned this spring, around, maybe a month ago, to buy one. Although having said that, the right one still hasn't come up. But I guess if lockdown hadn't happened, there would have been more on the market. Anyway, even if we get out this lockdown in sort of July, August at best, I don't think I'll end up buying an M6 this year, because I would have just missed the best months to own one. I only want to have one temporarily. I'd like to buy one in the spring, use it throughout the summer, and maybe sell it in the autumn. I don't know. So in terms of like the A-Class and stuff, it's really hard to say. But I am still thinking, or at least wanting to have something like an A45, or an A45 indeed, for a daily. I think it'd be perfect. And sorry if I'm missing some of your questions. Quite a few are coming in now, so I'll try my best to scroll through them. What would be your perfect colour and option Z4 car if you were buying from new? So let's say it's a Z4M, let's say it's a Roadster. It would probably be, do you know what actually, it's really bold, but I've seen one on the market before, which was, I think it's Imola red colour with a red interior as well. I think it's just quite special, red car, red interior. A little bit like much for most people, I think, but if it was like my dream, Z4 weekend toy, it'd probably be in quite a striking colour. So like red on red with maybe like graphite wheels, I think would be really cool. Boris said you can drive. Yeah, he said that if you need to, he said if you can work, if you can't work from home, then you should go back to work. So, and you can drive to work. So I sort of see that as, you know, my YouTube is technically a job of mine. It earns me revenue, so therefore by sort of default it is a job, and I can't do my driving reviews from home. So does that mean I can go out and drive? It's a bit of a grey area. I really don't want to be one of those people that pushes the boundaries because they can. I am much more on the side of caution, taking this seriously. I've spent 7 weeks at home, and I wouldn't want to go out to just film a few videos and put that at risk. It might sound petty and whatever, but I will look into that thoroughly before I decide that I can indeed just go for a drive, etc. But rest assured, as soon as I feel like it's appropriate, I will be. Rizla said he had his Z3s, he's only currently got a bit annoying. Yeah, they're pretty rough, I guess, to live with as your only car. Big fan of the Z4, but I need back seats. I have an 05 E46 2.2. Same back alloys. Would you recommend one as a fellow soft top driver? I'm just trying to work out what you mean. Would I recommend have an 05 E46 2.2 Sport? I'm not sure if you're asking would I recommend a Z4 or would I recommend an E46. Sorry if I'm being really thick. It's probably this bit. Oh, Anthony, Sports and Touring has just. Oh, that's very kind of you. Here, have a beer on me, mate. Thank you so much. That's really kind. You're my first ever super chat, Anthony. So if you ever do a live stream, I'll make sure to retaliate in the same way. That's very kind of you. That will buy a beer just about where I live when we can go back to the pubs. Nice to see you here. I'm sure I noticed actually JM is doing a live stream at exactly the same time, so I'm sure you've probably been over there. But thank you, Anthony, so much for dipping in. That's really kind of you. Thank you. I hope you're keeping well, and we do need to do some more content once this is all over. Let me check. Scroll up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is really fun. There's always a little bit of like anxiety before. Well, there's obviously anxiety before this because I'm sort of live and everything's sort of out in the open. But there's anxiety that no one's going to join. But there's 40 of you here, so it's really cool. Keep asking your questions and I'll keep going through them as best as I can. I've only been going 18 minutes or so, and my voice is going. Good choice on Z4 option. Thank you, Chris. I think so too. Prataline DE has owned his Z4 since 2004. Wow, that's very. That's impressive. That says it all, I guess, if you still own it. What option on your dad's car would you have on yours and vice versa? He's got heated seats. I'd have that, and I know that he would probably have my 3-litre engine. He always moans about not having the 3-litre. Did you ever claim your free wrap off your mate? He said, that's really weird, Edmund, that you've asked that. I was watching that video back today because I got a few comments on it, which sort of, I've got this app on my phone which will notify you of YouTube comments on any of your videos. So often, I was thinking about this today, you get comments on videos that you made years ago and it's strange and you end up then watching them back. But yeah, we did mention about a free wrap, but actually we said 10,000 likes on the video. I think I was trying to wind him up by saying if we get 200 likes, he'll wrap my car for free. But I think it was 10,000 likes. But yeah, it got way over 10,000 views. So if we had said views, yeah, I would be getting a free wrap. But no, obviously at the moment, not had a free wrap from Ben just yet. The content you've made from home has been great to see either way. Definitely interested to see that Pilot Sport review though. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that. I'll be honest with you guys. You 39 people watching. This is meant to be a bit fun and light-hearted, but being totally honest, I've been really struggling to actually just get up out of bed to film or to create content. It's really hard to stay motivated during these times. Some are better than others, but yeah, to be honest, I've actually been really struggling to sort of create content. I've got a full calendar of stuff that should already be filmed, but I just haven't done it, such as my Rating Subscribers Cars Challenge. It's meant to go live on Wednesday. Still haven't filmed that, but I will endeavour to do so. And there's other video like why I started YouTube, my first experience in a Z4M. Lots of ideas for videos I've just really struggled to film. So anyway, thank you for complimenting the content I have made from home. I do plan on making more. You say you're interested to see that Pilot Sport review. That will be the first video I film when I go out. Obviously with the announcement that's just come from Boris, some may interpret that as I can go out and film. I'm going to look into it a bit more. But if it is the case that from Wednesday I can actually go out in my car to film a video, that'll be the first video I film, because I haven't got any other ideas at the moment. And I think I've actually driven the car enough with the Michelins to sort of give a good opinion on how I feel about them. I'm just going to drink some more beer and then get back to some more questions. Cheers. Okay. Harry Tilley, opinions on the DC5 Integra Type R. I think I know what that car is. Is that the one that's like got the big wing at the back? Because if that is the one, I actually like them. I saw one at a meet fairly recently before lockdown, and I thought that's really cool. I'd like one actually. Never had Japanese apart from my dad's MX-5. Actually no, every car I've had has been Japanese. Oh wait, Suzuki's I don't know. Anyway, DC5 Integra Type R, if that's what I think you're talking about, yeah, I like those a lot. What was your first car and your thoughts on it? First car, I think I've mentioned this before, so I'll do it briefly. It was a 2001 Y-Reg. I still remember the plate actually. Excuse me. Vauxhall Corsa 1.2. Excuse me. It was 1.2 Comfort Edition. It was in a really nice blue actually, almost cerulean blue like Schmee Senna. Pretty much as stunning as that. And I loved it. I think, you know, obviously a Vauxhall Corsa isn't the car you look out the window at school and dream about, but I think anyone, their first car is always the one which they have some of their fondest memories in, and that's certainly the case. For me, it's also been the car which I've got my most negative memories in, because I ended up crashing it on several occasions. And it finally was met with its demise in a river, essentially, a natural ford, and it drowned. That was a whole story in itself. Maybe I will do a video on that. I don't know. I've sort of touched on it before, but maybe I could do a whole video on that if you guys are interested. So yeah, first car, 2001 Corsa. I would love to have kept that car forever, but obviously I broke it and it went to the scrap heap, which is a real shame. But one day, if I've got a load of money to piss away, I would love to buy back a 2001 Corsa, as close to the one that I owned as I can find, and just like make it into a complete sleeper. I don't know. Does anyone have a desire to do that sort of thing? I certainly do. Have you relocated your roof motor to the boot yet? No, I haven't. I've been super lucky. My car's just never had that issue. To be honest, it might have even been relocated. I've never checked. Obviously, I haven't had the car since new. I bought it pretty old. But touch wood, I've still not had the issues with it. And I'm not really a preventative type guy. I'll probably just leave it as is until something goes wrong. What video are you pleased with and what would you not do again? Well, that's a really tricky question. Thanks for these questions though, guys. They're getting me thinking. What video were you pleased with and what would you not do again? I mean, being totally honest, I try my best to not put anything out that I'm not actually proud of. There have been videos that I filmed that have never gone live. There have also been videos that have gone out that are not the best. I'm being totally honest, I can't think of a specific... You know what? Videos that I've been really proud of are such as the ones that were not in this country. And they're also... There's lots to talk about this on YouTube from YouTubers such as like Steph AB, about sort of the amount of effort you put into videos in terms of the rewards you get back, whether that be financial or satisfaction. So some of the videos I've made in America, for example, I've done 2 road trips in America now, firstly in a Ford Mustang, more recently in a Chevrolet Corvette. And also I did a road trip down in Cape Town, South Africa in a 3 Series, amongst many others actually. And all of those videos have been some of my proudest videos, some of my biggest productions, and the ones that I would first look back on, or the last I would delete from my channel, because they're just such incredible memories, but they always get the least views, sadly. So yeah, they're the videos I'm definitely most proud of, but also the videos that I sort of wouldn't plan on doing again because no one watches them, and from an economic standpoint, it's just not worth it. I'd love to earn the sort of revenue from videos where I could justify like a weekend in Spain to go and try a certain car out, one day perhaps. But nonetheless, although I'm waffling about all of that, it wouldn't stop me doing those types of videos again. In fact, as soon as this lockdown starts lifting, I do want to book a trip back out to LA. I tend to go every November, and I don't want this year to be any different. So as long as I can, I will go out to LA in November. And actually, I'll let you into it now. The car I'm looking to rent with my friend is a Ferrari. Actually, I won't say what Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. So if I do go out to LA in November, well, if I can, I will go out to November. I need to stop this. I need to sleep. I will go out to LA in November, and I will be renting a Ferrari, which is actually ridiculous. So, yeah. But anyway, I don't think I've really answered your question there, but I've just been waffling, which is what I do best. Best driving road I've ever been on, Cape Town. Oh God, I forgot what it's called. Something Chapman's Peak Drive. That's the toll road, and there's also the I-5, the I-9, which is like a single track road that goes along the coast. Both the most stunning roads I've ever driven on, and then also it's not a driving road, but just driving through like the Mojave Desert in Nevada / California. It's just something in itself. Yeah, there you go. Would you consider selling your Z to get an M version rather than put the cash in the A class you spoke? Yeah, so it's a tricky one, and I don't want to sort of say too much because finances change, especially at this interesting time we're in. The idea behind the A class, for example, is to have it in addition to my Z4. So I would not sell my Z4 in order to afford the A class. I would buy the A class entirely by itself. So I would end up with a Z4 and an A class or an A45. And additionally to that, I've got some savings which I would like to put into an M6. So that would mean, best case scenario, I have an A45 AMG, my Z4, which I could really focus on just restoring almost and making, really nice, because I don't need to rely on it to get to work, for example, and a V10 M6, which would just be a YouTube car. It would be fully straight piped. Potentially a wrap would go on it. I'd do a road trip. It would. It's the thing I literally keep daydreaming about at the moment. Now, obviously, this is all. It's all up in the air, But I really want to stop talking about this stuff and do it. So trust that I am working as hard as possible, even now, to make those dreams become a reality. Because I know the channel, the content will just benefit drastically from that. And also the M6, for example, is a dream car of mine, which I've always wanted to own. And if this YouTube channel could justify that, well, happy days. So sorry, to answer your question in terms of would I get an M, so would I consider selling my Z to get an M version rather than putting the money into an A class? The A class would be a separate, but on a separate note, the Z4 will eventually go. I can't have that car forever, but I think when I replace the Z4, providing I've got a couple of other cars as well, it would be for a Z4M or a Alpina Roadster S, for example. It would be for like a top of the range Z4. I think it's a car, that I would always like to have some sort of association with. But yeah, I won't have my Z4 forever, definitely. Anyway, I'm going to stop trying to spend so long on certain questions because, I waffle. So I do apologise a lot for this. I see there's a few more of you joining, so thank you guys so much for joining. I will probably go for another 15 minutes or so. So if you have got a question you really want to ask, pop it in the chat. If I do miss anything, you can always super chat, which Anthony, my friend, very kindly did, and that'll highlight your question and also support the channel. But anyway, let me try and get through some of the ones that are in this live chat when I have another sip of this. Excuse me. So, okay, this is interesting. Benjamin McNeil. Have I ever spun or had a near miss in the Z4? I crashed mine once and spun it about last week and ended up on a roundabout. I hope you're okay, firstly. Secondly, to answer your question, I've never had a near miss in my Z4. I have deliberately spun it on several occasions, whether that just be in a field or on a roundabout. I have actually several times spun it on a roundabout accidentally when drifting round said roundabout, in a safe environment, of course. It's very easy to get the car sliding when the roads are a little bit wet. In fact, in the video I published yesterday, the very opening shot is me just having a little bit of fun. So in terms of spinning it, I have spun it, but it's always been sort of in controlled environments. I have had several accidents in my time and have therefore learned a lot of sort of respect for driving. I'm not about to sit here and say I'm immune from having an accident and I'm so good at driving, but I definitely, from having crashes previously where it's been complete driver error and basically carrying too much speed around corners, I've certainly learned to respect that you're not invincible, and therefore, you know, I've avoided any accidents in the Z4. I think now 3 years into it, owning the Z4, I'm 100% used to the power, so the power is not something that ever catches me out. You know, I drive with like traction control off, even if it's wet, for example. Again, not trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm so competent. I just, that's the most enjoyable way to drive the car for me, and I can handle that, so I do. And also, you know, not to mention, I could, you know, I'd make a mistake and something can happen. But at the moment, touch wood, I've not had an accident in the Z4 or a near miss for that matter, and I hope that long may continue. Would I do a Hive upgrade? No, probably not, because it costs a lot of money to do that, and as I say, sort of the Z4 is not always going to be my daily. And actually, I like, well, firstly, I like the simplicity of the dash. I like there aren't any big screens there. And secondly, my speakers are actually okay, and I've got the ability to connect Bluetooth, so no real need for me to change that. Excuse me. Have I ever reached the high speed of 250 kilometers an hour with my Z4 on the German Autobahn? This beer is like giving me hiccups. No, I haven't. I've never driven my car on the German Autobahn before. Back when I worked with Seen Through Glass, you will probably know that YouTube channel. He's a massive YouTube channel. I did a couple of road trips where we ended up on the Autobahn actually, but there was one in particular where we were in a Ferrari 488 and we did 190 miles an hour, which is about 305 kilometers an hour on the German Autobahn. So although I've never driven my Z4 on the Autobahn, I have been 305 kilometers an hour in a Ferrari on the German Autobahn, and that was spectacular. But yeah, in future, definitely, mate, I would like to take my Z4 to Germany and do exactly that and top it out. See if we can get above 250 as well, and like break the limiter somehow. Although I think my car would probably blow up. But yeah, you know, that would be an interesting video in itself. What's your dirt? I feel like I'm really far behind, by the way. What's your dirty secret car? Mine's a Porsche Cayman. Trying to think. I mean, my dirty secret car is definitely the E63 M6, but it's not a secret, like, because I talk about it all the time. But it's definitely like an infamous car. It's not a car you want to have, but I just love it so much that I will. So that's really it. Is there another car that like none of you would suspect that I actually really secretly like? One I can think of is an Alfa 147, old £1,000 hatchback from Alfa Romeo. Sort of, I've always loved those for some weird reason. Porsche Boxster as well. You know, although it's sort of the arch rival to the Z4, and lots of you guys are dedicated sort of Z4 chaps. Boxster, I love a Boxster and would love to have one. Did you ever replace your aerial? No, still need to do that. I still need to do that. I need to order a part and then I think actually get the tool that does it. Phil is here, more than cars is here. How are you, Phil? I've been enjoying your. I need to watch your sim setup video. I still haven't watched that, and I actually asked you about if you're filming that video, so I need to go and watch that. But I've been enjoying all your content nonetheless. So it's nice to see you here. Did everyone know how to give? Does everyone know how to give a super chat highlighted question by making a donation? Probably not, to be honest. No, I don't know. I mean, I probably won't shout about it too much. There is, for anyone that does want to make a super chat donation, because it is a donation, what it does is it highlights your question above all of this chat so I can see your question, which obviously means I'll definitely answer it because I believe I'm probably missing a few here. And it also donates a bit of money to the channel as well. So there's like a dollar sign, I think, in the chat you can click. So that's how you can do it if you're interested. Nice to see. Yeah, we've got More Than Cars here and Sports and Touring. So a couple of YouTubers in the chat, which is really cool. Roman Collard's also gone to the liberty of explaining that as well. Thank you. Higher speed reach in the Z4. Oh, I could incriminate myself here, couldn't I? No, I couldn't, because it was in Mexico. Actually, can I say? I can't know. I can. It was like, okay, yeah, okay, I can say this. Again, there's a video on it. I took, you know, I'm just going to tell you, I have maxed out my Z4. It was on a runway, and I did 152, 153. I'm not going to say any more actually. But if you want to see me speeding in my car, there is a video I made a couple of years ago at an event called Wings and Wheels where I took my car down the runway, and I think in that video I did about 135, which was like so exciting, with a passenger in the car as well. So check those out. I should like find a way of like putting links in here so you guys can just go and watch, because I realise there's a lot of videos. But that was actually some of the most fun I've ever had. But I have maxed the car out in Mexico. Is your dad a better driver than you? Definitely not. Definitely not. He's written off so many more. By the time he was my age, I am joking, by the way. I'm sure he is a great driver. But by the time he was my age, I'm 23. He probably written off 5 cars. Like, I've only written off 2, which is not bad, is it? Or 3. And I'm a terrible passenger, so I'm always going to say no, because if I ever get in the car with Dad, I'm like, or anyone, I'm the worst backseat driver. And you know, I can throw a car around the corner with someone sitting in the passenger seat as long as they're happy, and they'll sort of deal with it. Whereas if someone does that with me, I'm just nah, I can't deal with that at all. I'll be up for a trip to Germany too. Yeah, we should. Oh, that would be so cool. Actually, get some people together and do that. Hopefully this year, but you know, the year is been eaten up fast. Let's do a drive together when this lockdown is all over. Yes, 100%. I think, Phil, you're based up in the Midlands, and I actually have most of my family live in the Midlands, so I do go up there fairly regularly. They're near Nottingham. They're in Colville, which you might know. So, yeah, we could work something out actually, and do that. How about a European drive convoy when it's over? I think that'd be awesome. Like, if there's time this year, that'd be great. But it could even, because I've done like a convoy in this country, how difficult would it be for me to sort of, you know, jump on a Eurotunnel, drive to Belgium or Germany or northern France, and meet some of you guys there? Because I know quite a few of you, especially in Germany actually. We could do a convoy to like the Nürburgring or something. That would be awesome. But that sort of stuff takes a lot of organising. Thank you, Phil, for the kind comment. Apologies for asking you all the incriminating questions. Has your Z4 gained any speeding offences? Yeah, I mentioned this. When did I mention this? It was in a couple of videos ago, I think. Excuse me. 2. No. Yes, 1. I currently have 6 points on my licence. Not proud of it at all. The first one was in my Vauxhall Corsa, so this was like 3 or 4 years ago, which I got a speed awareness course for, and that was something like 61 in a 50 in an average speed check. The second one was in my Z4, which was exactly the same thing. I think it was 62 in a 50, and I won't go into the details, but I tried to dispute that one because I felt it was unfair and stuff. And then the third one was totally my fault. I was actually on the way to an Ace Cafe meet a couple of years ago, which I made a video about, in the Z4, and I did 90 and got caught by one of those. He was just on the bridge, mobile speed camera. Got caught doing 90 overtaking. I was trying to. Basically, there was someone in front of me. They pulled into the inside lane, and I was doing 70, 75 with cruise control on. They pulled into lane 1. I was in lane 2 in the overtaking lane, and then, you know, as I went to overtake them, keeping cruise control on at 75, they were accelerating in the left-hand lane, and I needed to get off at a junction about half a mile ahead. So also, this was going on with someone right up my bumper, and there was also a car behind the accelerating car on the inside lane. So what I did was shift down to accelerate past the guy in the inside lane, in order to make my junction, which meant I went up to about 90 miles an hour, and in all of that madness I failed to realise the police van on the top. So, you know, it was a really unfortunate one. I wouldn't normally do 90 miles an hour, genuinely. It was genuinely really unlucky. But say what you will, yeah, maybe I should have just let off slowly and slowed down to get on the inside. But I felt what I was doing there was actually causing less danger. But anyway, I've waffled about it. But yeah, I have unfortunately got 2 speeding offences in the Z4. I am a dire passenger too. Both you and your dad doing a driving challenge, drift day experience. That would be really fun actually, yeah, good suggestion. He'd be up for that too. Guessing I'd have to pay for it though. But yeah, nice suggestion actually, that'd be a lot of fun. You can only drive cars from one manufacturer for the rest of the time. Which one? Ferrari. I think I'm a bit of a Ferrari fangirl, fanboy, fangirl, whatever you say. So it'd have to be Ferrari. Who's the best driver you've been with? Probably Oliver Webb. You guys may or may not know him. He's a he's a touring driver. I'm not quite sure actually. I haven't spoken to him in ages. But back when I worked with Seen Through Glass again, I went round a track with Oliver James Webb in like a McLaren 650S GT3 car, and he's obviously a tremendously good driver. Who else? Well, I mean, Sam Seen Through Glass himself. He's a great driver. We did a few like Swiss mountain passes and stuff in some fast cars. And you know, he's obviously a very talented driver. I think mainly just from the experience he's had in so many different types of cars. So yeah, probably Sam Seen Through Glass and Oliver James Webb are the best drivers I've ever had the privilege of being driven by. It's me as asked, what's the shortlist for your next car and a possible timeline? We were speaking about this shortly, or a little bit ago. To sort of put it in a few sentences, I'd like to have an A45 AMG and a M6 as my next 2 cars, and ideally keep the Z4 throughout that, so that I don't have to go completely cold turkey on Z4 content, and also I can invest in making the Z4 a little bit better. So they're the next 2 that I'd like to have. In terms of timeline, I really can't say because of lockdown. I don't really know my own finances are at this point, or where they're going to be, more importantly, and also if actually the best months of the year for filming car content are going to be gone by the time I'm in a position to purchase these cars. So I can't really give a possible timeline because there isn't one at the moment. I don't know, but I hope that somewhat answers your question. Field the Drive, any interest in getting a sim set up during lockdown time? To be honest, buddy, yeah, I would have spent money on that straight away. I just sadly don't have enough room at the moment where my sort of gaming PC setup is for a sim setup. The room physically isn't big enough. I still live with my parents in like a townhouse at the moment, which is quite small. My previous house was a lot larger and that would have been possible. So I've been sort of missing that house during this lockdown. But yeah, I would love a sim setup actually. But currently where I live, I can't do that, sadly. Okay, so 45 minutes in. I'm going to probably end this live stream shortly. If you've got any burning questions at all, make sure to go ahead and ask them now. I'll try and get us through many of them in a quick fire way as possible. It's actually it's like quite difficult to read them and then answer as well. Congratulations on getting a speeding ticket in a 1.2 quarter. Thank you, I'll take that as a compliment. Great chat as always, keep drinking, cheers. I've probably been drinking a little bit too much during this lockdown because boredom sets in, doesn't it? And also no driving. I normally don't drink at all because I'm always driving. Lose with the son versus dad challenge pays for the day. I like that actually. I will put that to him. Any plans to go on a track day with the Z4? No plans. I mean, I had planned to do Goodwood this summer, but again, lockdown happened. Because I'm doing this garage time series where I'm making the Z4 better. Sort of, I've got new tyres. I was going to get some lowering springs, amongst a few other things I haven't spoken about. and then at the end of it all do a track day. So yeah, that will happen. I just don't know when. I'm not averse to doing a winter track day either. The car's worth a few pennies now, so if I bin it, there we go. What games do you play on your gaming PC? You guys are going to think less of me after this. I'm an avid flight simulator player, and that actually someone's asked my dream job, which these two are related. Play a lot of flight simulator. I play at the moment a lot of Call of Duty, Warzone, which I'm sure many of you do as well. In terms of car stuff, I've got Forza Motorsport 7 and Forza Horizon 4. They're really the 4 games that I play, but at the moment it's really Call of Duty that's been taking precedent. Have I taken an advanced driver course? No, I haven't. I haven't. I'd be interested to though. Although, no, I won't say, oh, I don't need to, but I feel, no, that would be really complacent of me to say that I don't need to. But no, I haven't actually. I haven't. It'd be interesting to do so. My dream job, I won't bore you, is an airline pilot. I actually always wanted to be an airline pilot straight out of school. It was always what I was going to do, and actually I was in the position at the age of 18 to go and do that. I had a place at Oxford, which is a flight school, Oxford Aviation Academy. This is 5 years ago now, wow. And then, because flight school is such an expensive thing to undertake, we're talking 6 figures, about 130 grand once all said and done, I decided that basically I didn't want to commit to that at the age of 18, and so far I haven't done it. So my ultimate dream job is actually airline pilot. However, I got into video stuff and I've been really enjoying that, and obviously as a result of not doing that, I've got this YouTube channel which I'm so fond of, and it's a real project for me to focus on, and it allows me to earn revenue now from a hobby, which is driving essentially. And be careful to note there, I don't say make money, because really the money I put into this channel isn't negated by the money I earn from it at this point. We're getting there now to a sort of break-even point, which is incredible. But yeah, so yeah, to answer your question, my dream job it was and still is an airline pilot. Why is there so little enthusiasm about Iceman exhaust? So much better. Maybe you can make a video about all the different exhausts. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea for lockdown. I mean, I'll be honest with you, but my exhaust knowledge is really limited. I've just cut the back box off mine, and all of a sudden I'm an expert. Yeah, I'm super, don't know anything about exhaust. The Iceman exhaust is one that lots of people recommend for the M6, which I'm thinking of getting. However, what am I saying here? I think it sounds better straight piped, and I'm just a bit stupid. There'll be drone and stuff, but I sort of don't care. But yeah, maybe I'll look into sort of exhaust things for a potential video topic I could do during lockdown. How much money does the channel generate? Lots of YouTubers talk about this, and it's certainly something I would like to talk about as well. Now, I'm not going to sit and fire off numbers right now, because to be quite honest with you, I can't look at them right now, and I wouldn't want to give you anything that's inaccurate. What I will say is, if you want to get a rough idea of what any YouTuber earns, or what I earn, it's sometimes what I use to work it out as well. There's a website called Social Blade, and that will show you sort of an estimated monthly revenue for that YouTube channel. That is 100% on Social Blade, based on the view count, which is generally what attributes to, well, it is what attributes to your revenue. What's more important for me to look at is actually watch time. But what can I say here? I mean, for every 1,000 minutes of watch time, I'll make about $1. Is that right? I can't think. But it's not a lot of money. There's a few brands I've worked with, such as Carly, who I'll be working with again shortly. I'm excited to say that one job with them will earn the same as I'll earn in a month from ad revenue. So the money certainly isn't in ad revenue, but if you want to sort of get an idea of what people earn, Social Blade is a really good tool for that, and it will give you sort of a figure that will be like £50 to £1,000 a month. If you want a sort of rough estimate, it's probably somewhere in the middle to the third quartile of that estimate is realistically what they earn. At the moment, it's way down because of lockdown. Less, less companies have money to pour into marketing, and also there's just not the demand for selling certain products at the moment. So the ad revenue on YouTube is actually down at the moment. So sorry, that doesn't really give you a good idea. It is something I would like to talk about. I think it's just something you've got to tread carefully with, especially when I actually still have a day job as well. It's not necessarily information I want to share publicly yet. But yeah, it's how much money does the channel generate? It's certainly in the hundreds, not the thousands. Current job, I work in video production. I'm still young enough to get your pilot's license. We have dream jobs in common. Oh, that's really cool. So you asked the question right about your dream job. Well, there you go. I mean, if you ever want to chat with me about it, I still actually work with a lot of pilots now, and I'm still very much in the loop on sort of the industry, which is obviously going through some rough times right now. So if you ever want to get in touch, send me an Instagram direct message, and I'm happy to chat to you about it. It is still my dream job. It's something I'd love to get into in the future. Just when the time's right, and potentially when I can afford to do it myself rather than borrowing money, which is the route that I was going to go down. But yeah, I do actually plan on getting a private pilot's license as well when I've got a bit of spare income. I want to invest money into this YouTube channel. I've been blaring about all of these cars that I want to buy. That's where my money's going to go in the immediate future, I think. But yeah, in the future, a private pilot's license is something that I would like to do. For you, it's me. I've actually got a flying channel. You can go and check it out. It's called Flying with Joel. I'll put a thing here. Flying with Joel ! There's like 3 videos on there, but I started it because I love flying. There's some flight reviews on there, so you can go check it out. Will it when it's 100k subs? What do you mean by that? Like, how much will it when it makes? Then it's hard to say really. How many looks do I get with my straight pipe? Yeah, quite a lot. Especially at the moment, there's lots of sort of people out on walks and cycle rides to get their daily exercise. And obviously when I've been out driving, it's to go to the shops. But yeah, people do turn and sometimes give looks of disgust. Often there's looks of intrigue as they hear me coming, to looks of disappointment as they see that it's just a Z4. Because you might assume it's something a little bit more rare or expensive from the noise itself. You could YouTube your progress and your work your way through training. Yeah, 100%. If and when, so this Flying with Joel channel I've got, when I go and do my private pilot's license, that will be documented on there. So although at the moment Flying with Joel is just flight reviews and a bit of flight simulator content, it hopefully will be like a channel where I can document my flying stuff as well. So yeah, so let you in, the 40 of you that are watching, it's not something I'd ever really talk about on this It's Joel car channel, but flying and aviation is actually a huge part of my life, even though I don't work in the industry I sort of do in some ways. I work with a lot of airline pilots in terms of video and yeah, I can't really say too much more about it actually, but I'm still very much involved in the aviation world, and obviously don't talk about it on this car channel. So it's nice to share that with the few of you that are here. So I really appreciate your questions and your intrigue as always. This is exactly why I'm doing these live streams. Actually because I'm bored, and therefore this just presents, I'm stuck at home, it presents, and we're all stuck at home on a Sunday evening, it presents a great opportunity to actually just chat to you guys. And obviously the type of people that tune into these live streams, you guys, you're the ones that are, my most engaged audience, because who else is going to sit and listen to me waffle for 50 minutes? So the fact that anyone does, I genuinely really appreciate. And those of you who've sort of been constantly asking questions throughout this, I can't thank enough, because it keeps me talking, but I am going to lose my voice. Before I go, I want to say a big thank you to Sports and Touring, my friend Anthony, for the super chat donation. As I said earlier, that was my first one that I've had. So thank you so much for that. Sports and Touring, who is in the chat now, he has a great YouTube channel, which is, I guess, in its infancy at the moment, and it's going to get a lot bigger. So if you want to get on the bandwagon early, go and subscribe to him now. He has a fairly unique take on YouTube, I'd say, and it certainly makes the videos interesting in a world where lots of YouTube videos tend to be the same. Anyway, go and check out Anthony's channel. Thank you, Anthony, so much for that super chat. I will put that towards a pint when I can. But yeah, to everyone else that's joined and got involved, I thank you so much. It's me. I see there's another question about flight school there. In short, the answer is yes, I had a place at 2 flight schools. But if you want to sort of chat more about that, please do feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. You should. This is my Instagram if you don't know, because I genuinely would like to chat to you about it and help you out if I can. It's a big passion of mine. So let's chat over there about your flying or whatever you want to chat about. Anyway, everyone else, thank you so much for joining in. This has been fun. I plan on doing another one of these in a fortnight. If you want to see more, if I tag Anthony in the chat, let me try and do that. How do I do that? Oh, here we go. Bang. That worked? Has that worked? Let me know if that's worked. Anyway, yeah, go and check out Anthony's channel, Sports and Touring as well. Thank you. I'll give regards to my father. That's very kind. Anyway, yeah, I'll end this now, and it's the awkward moment where I have to reach around my camera and end the live stream. And oh wow, Edmund Dantes has donated £20. Thank you so much. That's extremely kind. And that's very kind, very, very kind of you. Thank you so much, Edmund. That is that makes a difference. It really does, because as I mentioned, the amount that we earn is extremely limited. So that genuinely makes a difference. Thank you so much. That's extremely kind. If there's anything you want to chat about, Edmund, personally, then send me a message on Instagram so I can reciprocate that somehow. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Well, look, what a lovely way to end. Thank you guys so much for joining in. It's been really fun. And yeah, if you don't hear anything else, this will be done again in 2 weeks' time. We can have another catch up. If you'd like to see this every week, let me know, because I kind of enjoy it. And it's something to do on a Sunday evening, isn't it? So thank you all so much. I've only got through half of this beer in an hour because I haven't stopped talking and I'm such a waffler. But I will go now and awkwardly reach around to my phone to end this live stream. So until Wednesday, I think, when you'll see my next video, if everything goes to plan, take care, everyone. Have a great start to the week, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye for now. And now I'm going to do the awkward round and end this live stream, if I can work out how to do it. Here we go. Bye, everyone.